Hi friendos, how the hell are we? Long time no see. We are back, alive and well. Obviously not at home. I'm still in Seattle. However, I'm hopefully leaving tomorrow if I get my COVID test results. I came here, I think I mentioned it already, or maybe I didn't mention it in a vlog, but Charlie's off to see his dad off grid, and I decided to hitch a ride with him into town, aka Seattle, and spend the week working for my aunt in like her physical office instead of doing remote work like I've been doing for all of January. And it has been super fun, but very hectic in the sense that I really haven't had time to do literally anything else but work and then come home and just have family time. But I did want to thank all of you lovely folks that sent over bookstore recommendations / just like things to do in Seattle on the gram. That was really sweet, and I took notes, so hopefully next time I come into town I'll have a bit more time to do some bookstoring. But in other news, I figured I'm working from home today, hence the atrocious outfit. And I figured this would be a good little catch-up time to discuss what I've been reading, which, truth be told, I have been rather bad with my reading. I think I touched on this last time we spoke, but it's just been tricky to find a balance with work and trying to have a social life. And what I mean by that is just like hang out with the one friend that I have in Charlie. Because I am an introvert. This is all to say that we haven't been doing a whole lot of reading, but you know, that's life sometimes. We're rolling with it. We're trying to get back into the swing of things, get back on the saddle. And it also isn't helping that I'm reading a book that feels like it's a million pages long. So even if I do sit down at night to read like a few pages, it feels like I've literally haven't made a single dent in the book. But you know, here we are. I'm reading The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen. I am like 100 pages in. Something kind of chaotic happened at the 70 point mark, which is that I spilled the entirety of my hydro flask on the book. So that happened. I had to wait a few days for it to dry. It's still a little moist, but again, what can you do? That's life sometimes, folks. Anywho's, so yeah, that happened, but it's an interesting book. I will say that I feel a little bit like disconnected from it in the sense that, which I hate doing this, but in the sense that I haven't been able to dedicate a whole lot of time to it like I've mentioned. And so I know this may look like a lot of sugar, but I don't know what kind of sweetener this is because I've literally never used it before, but it just like, you need a gallon of it in order for shit to taste sweet. I don't know. It's not my house. Anyways, what was I blabbing on about? Oh yeah. So because I haven't dedicated a whole lot of time to it, I don't feel super immersed in the story. However, I think that my opinion on the story / the characters will change the more that I dive on in. I'll have a different opinion, but we are following a family from the Midwest, and we are getting to know the ins and outs of this family dynamic. So where I'm at in the story, we are getting to know the character, or the son, Chip, and he is was a college professor who gets entangled with one of his students, which leads him to then get fired, and then obviously immense humiliation and embarrassment, leading him not to tell his family anything about this fuck up. And he ends up moving to New York City, and he's also trying to be a playwright, or write a screenplay. And yeah, his life is just a chaotic shitstorm, and the parents have now flown into town, and so we're seeing the actual interactions between him and his parents and his sister, who is a chef living, can't remember where. But anyways, yeah, I am enjoying it. It is very wordy and very like elaborative in its explanation of certain things that seem inconspicuous, but yet the author wants to spend like half a page talking about these things. So hopefully I'll have some more cohesive thoughts about it, but I am enjoying it. I do love a family like mess, and this is exactly what this book is. Very messy, very disjointed family dynamic, but it is kind of disguising itself as the ideal American quintessential middle class family. But yet I think that's what Jonathan Franzen is trying to do, just kind of like challenge that archetype and to show us the flaws in each of these characters, is what I'll say for now. But anyways, I have made my matcha. I'm going to have some breakfast, and and then I will get to work and hopefully do more reading and have something more worthwhile of your time to listen to. So yeah, I'll see you in a little. Okay, update time. We are in bed doing some reading. My cousin's back there doing homework. Anyways, also if you hear music in the background, it's my uncle playing guitar, just in case you're wondering. But anyways, update time. 150 pages in, and I've dedicated some time to reading. I did in fact faint low-key after taking that bath, which like, this is why I have like an aversion to baths. Like, I don't know if maybe I just like was really dehydrated, or I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I was overheating, and so I went into the shower, rinsed off with cold water, and then all of a sudden everything started to blur, and then I just like fell, and then I woke up. Anyways, I'm fine now, but never doing that again. So anyways, I think I'm right when I told you that the book is split into the voice, or the story, I guess, of each family member. So far I've read Chip's kind of side of story, or I guess like character analysis, and he's the youngest of the three kids, or sorry, the middle child. And then now we've moved on to, what's his name? Daryl, I think. Yeah, Daryl. And he is the youngest. And then we've got the daughter, Denise, and I believe she's the oldest, or I might have that confused. Denise might be the youngest and Daryl might be the oldest. Anyways, they are all quite unlikable, to be honest, but that is the point, I believe. The first chunk, like I already mentioned, I found extremely wordy, and just like, I don't know if it's the author like trying to show off his like vocabulary or knowledge of like geopolitics, because were so many like pages wasted on like Lithuanian politics, because Chip gets like entangled with this Lithuanian like politician or whatever, and I just thought that was so unnecessary. Like, who is really here for Lithuanian politics? I don't think very many people, at least not me. I'm sorry, no hate out there to all you Lithuanians or people that like that kind of stuff, but I just thought to myself, this is so unnecessary, or at least to go into so much depth and waste so many pages on that. But I digress. I am still enjoying it, I think. Like, I don't know. Am I having a blast? Am I just like eager to sit down and flip through this book? Not really, but it's still good enough for me to want to continue to read it. Not loving it, but I'm not hating it and like quite ready to DNF it. But I did have higher expectations, I will say. But I don't know. This is the first time I'm really like sitting down and just absorbing the story. So perhaps if I continue on this path, then maybe I'll start to enjoy it or appreciate it more than I am at the moment. But right now I'm like mildly annoyed, but like also semi enjoying it. Yes, that is where we're at the moment. It's like 9:30, so I'm gonna just continue to read for like another hour and then probably call it a day. But yeah, I'm glad I'm making like a semi-dent. At least we're moving on from Chip onto Daryl. So his family dynamic sounds a little more interesting, or like not dynamic, more so his like particular story seems more interesting than Chip's, to be honest. So I think it'll be good. He is already married. Actually, no, he's the youngest. He is the youngest of the kids. There we go. But he's already married, and he is very depressed and has 2 kids and a wife. So we're kind of dealing with that own little like family structure within the larger family, if that makes sense. So I think that'll be more interesting than Chip's like chaotic life and just like bad decision after bad decision. But anyways, and mooching off his sister. We will check back in soon. Do you have anything to say, Bea? Bea? Do you have anything to say? I'll take that as a no. We're back. It's only been like 30 minutes, but in that time, I managed to low-key hate this book, and I also changed my shirt. The past 30 minutes have just made my annoyance level go up immensely because I'm just feeling a sense of frustration with the characters, and I have no issue really with like unlikable characters, but these people in particular are just so privileged, and their concerns are like their shitty decisions and the things that they are contending with are just so uninteresting to me. Like, I don't really care. Especially like Chip, for example, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, this just screams like white people problems. The Lamberts are just your run-of-the-mill, middle-class white family, and Chip and all of them really have literally had what it sounds to be like everything handed to them, and then they managed to just repeatedly make shitty choices and decisions without a care in the world, and it's just like annoying to read about. I don't know, I just find myself just not really caring about these problems and just rolling my eyes every 5 minutes. So that's how I feel about it. Part of me wants to DNF because I just don't really care. I thought I was kind of you guys heard me. You're kind of just seeing the slow and steady progression of my dislike for this book. But perhaps I'll keep reading. But right now I'm very uninterested and unimpressed and slightly disappointed because, like I said, I did want to love it, but I just can't help but just be critical and annoyed at the characters and just these stupid problems and the way that they just managed to fuck up their lives. Which, like, I guess seems like something that would be interesting to read about, but it's just such a massive eye roll for me. I don't know. That's just how I feel right now. Maybe we'll give it another whirl and perhaps I'll feel differently, or maybe this feeling will just like grow and expand, which will lead me to DNF it for reals. But I think I'm gonna call it a night. And Franzen, goodbye. Hi, it is the next day. I'm feeling less aggravated, but I'm still not loving it. And honestly, the only reason why I'm reading this right now is because I stupidly only brought one book. And let this be a lesson to all of you moody bitches out there. Never go anywhere with just one book. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if halfway through, you don't know if after reading the first chapter, you're not gonna vibe with it, and then you're going to be inevitably stuck. So here we are, just reading away, wasting away my time. This is so mean. Like, I'm so sorry to all of you Franzen fans out there that I'm just completely like destroying this book, but what can I say? It's just not for me. I gotta keep it real. But yes, that is truly the only reason why I'm still reading, is because I have no other choice. But I honestly think I'm gonna DNF it when I get home. I'm so sorry. It's unless things change in the next like 50 pages or however long I'm gonna read, that'll, I guess, be the deciding factor. But things aren't looking too good. I hate to say it, but this might be the worst book I've read this year so far. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We are back and it feels so good. I got here a little bit earlier, so I have a feel for like what we have in stock and just kind of take inventory of our like main tables. But oh my god, I was so excited this morning and just really looking forward to being back at work. So welcome. If you are new here, this is my place of work. So hence why I'm excited. I work at this beautiful bookstore and I'm so happy to be back. It feels great. So we're gonna have an awesome day in here. I'm gonna show you actually the what we've got on the main tables and let's have a fun day. Woohoo! All right, so we've got some new-ish releases. I actually have this. Penguin Random House sent this my way and I'm super excited to read it. I can't wait. I also want to read The Strangers. I think I mentioned this already, but that's what we've got here. And then this one, we've got a little sale going on apparently. $15 fiction and nonfiction. What have we got? Oh, this is supposed to be good. I've heard some good things. And then we've got our books by Black authors for Black History Month, which is sweet. I might have to cop this. So yeah, that is what we've got. Looking so pretty after a nice restful month off, but now we're back in action, baby. Let's do it. So I finally have a little bit of time because surprisingly it's been a busy Friday, rainy Friday afternoon. I thought it was going to be a lot quieter, but I have managed to sneak in some reading here and there, which has been really nice. And I actually wanted to share the book that is getting me out of the reading slump. Not even like a reading slump, but it was just more me feeling frustrated with the corrections, and that just got me into such a like bad, shitty mood for some reason. But this book is just really doing it for me. Can we take any guesses? I'll give you a second. So the book in question is The Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? This is like just the perfect thing to get me out of my little slump. This is just such a friggin' romp. The way that I read the Sally Rooney books is for like entertainment and kind of the same approach I take to like watching a show or like a romance drama movie, although we know I don't watch a lot of those. But that's kind of how I view the Sally Rooney books, just as pure good entertainment. It's a page turner. It's very just readable, nothing crazy, nothing wild. My mind isn't being blown or anything. It's just like a fun time, you know, kind of like how I feel when I watch The Housewives. It's a fun, sweet, use of my time, Am I learning anything? Am I like expanding my consciousness and like, being wowed at every turn of the page? Like, no. But am I thoroughly entertained? Am I just eating this up? Absolutely. I'm a happy gal now. We are back in the saddle. We're feeling good. We love reading again. And yeah, we're feeling great. Thank you, Sally Rooney. You're doing it. Okay, hi friends. Excuse my atrocious appearance. I am helping my parents move and I'm in my childhood bedroom and I just instantly got teleported back to elementary/high school me and Julie's latest video where she talks about her love affair with Sarah Dessen books, and oh my god, that just like took me back. And lo and behold, I figured I too would contribute to the Sarah Dessen love and show you my little collection. So anyways, we've got this lullaby. We have Just Listen. Like, I just love these names. Along for the Ride, and my favorite of them all, The Moon and More. I don't know like the plot of any of these, although they're all more or less the same, but this one in particular, no, actually, this is not it. There was one that was called Lock and Key, if I'm not mistaken. That was my favorite one. And can we just like appreciate that, like, I was reading chunky ass books at the tender age of like 12. Like, good for me. I need to bring this energy back this year because seriously, wow, the power of a romance, a corny romance novel, I tell you, could make me read for hours on end. But anyways, yeah, I'm just clearing out my stack of my bookcase here that I just like have not touched for a very long time. So it's bringing back some really sweet memories and feeling all the melancholic vibes. But this is also my favorite little like toy. It's this Barbie flip phone that I friggin' loved. This also takes me way back. I was this bitch and I would like hook it onto my like pants like this. And I'd feel very cool. Okay, back to packing we go. Hello. Another day at the bookstore and another day of me just vibing so freaking hard with this book. I am sorry to all the Sally Rooney haters, but this book is just doing it for me right now. I'm just eating it up. I love, actually wait, I didn't, well, I'm going to give like a very brief synopsis, although I'm sure all of you watching have already heard discussions around this book to no end, so I'm not going to contribute anything new to the conversation, rest assured. But we follow two women that are in their late 20s, Alice and Eileen, and Alice is a author, a novelist whose book blew up, and she is now wrapped up in this very weird moment in her life where she's contending with the publishing world and her identity as a writer and what that means and why what she has to say is important, or like why it is that her novel got so much fame and success, and she found so much success. And her college best friend, Eileen, who is also in the literary sphere, but she's kind of contending and working through her own issues or analyzing her life that's quite different and a contrast from her very wealthy, successful friend, Alice. But I really, and the way that they communicate with one another is through email correspondence. So we hear from the independent life of each character, but then we know their relation to one another, like I said, through these email chains that we are privy to. Sally Rooney does such a beautiful job of illustrating pure female relationships. I just find their friendships such a beautiful thing. Like, there's no cattiness, there's no competition. They're just so open and honest with one another and talking about things that I think are really appropriate in the context that we all find ourselves in, living in this world with social media and, you know, exploring our sexuality, our personal as well as professional ambitions, just, what it means to live in this world. It's just really fun to read. Okay, I'm upstairs. I'm about to have lunch, but I just wanted to conclude my thoughts because I was interrupted by some folks. How dare they come in? Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yes, I was talking about the just like beautiful depiction, very real depiction of just friendships, and lovely to read how both of these women have such admiration for one another and are there for one another, and the conversations they have are so real and, like I said before, just very applicable to how we relate to one another in this world and the conversations that we have with the people close to us. And of course, I cannot talk about this book without discussing how amazing Sally Rooney is at writing sex scenes. I mean, it is very steamy. I live for them. They are, just steamy fun and get me every time. So I mean, it wouldn't be a Rooney book without some steamy sex, am I right? Like, we all know that just comes with the territory, and it's very fun to read. So yeah, I honestly am not reading this book critically. Like I said before, I just consume her books like popcorn, good old entertainment, and that's really what I needed. So it's really hitting the spot, like I said, and I'm probably gonna finish it today and come to you with some concluding thoughts in a bit. We have finished the Rooney. Well, in fact, I finished it yesterday. I had a bit of like a reading marathon. I read like 150 pages at work, and then when I got home after we had dinner, I was like, I'm gonna sit on the couch and be undisturbed for the next hour until I finish the book, and then we can reconvene, because I was so set on finishing it. I was just so wrapped up in the story that I just needed to see it through in that entire day, and I did. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just a very pleasant cruise throughout, beginning to end. This might actually be my favorite Rooney. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say that. And I say that because I really related to the like maturity of the characters. And I feel like if you've been put off by Sally Rooney, especially with normal people, and the frustration that we all felt with the character's lack of communication skills, you will not find that issue here. And that was really refreshing and kind of a progression, I think, in Sally Rooney's characters. Granted, these are older figures, like they are in their late 30s or just at that 30 point mark, whereas the characters in Normal People were obviously like young college folk. So I really enjoyed reading the perspective from somebody a little bit more mature and able to communicate effectively and vulnerably, whether that might be with their friends or a love interest. So I think that's why this book was particularly effective. I mean, granted, I still stand Normal People, but I can see and understand the frustration that many people felt while reading that, because I felt it too. And yeah, it was just a fun romp. I really enjoyed it. Am I going to be thinking about this book for weeks after the fact? Probably not, but it was just the right book to get me back into loving reading again, like I said. So I'm really glad that I read it when I did. So yeah, that is all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed this rather tumultuous reading vlog. I think we started on such a low but are ending it on such a high, which is great for me. And yeah, let me know what you've been reading lately, and we'll see each other soon. Bye.